Alright, I'm gonna waste a heli here. Sorry, team. Let me give a little spiel about all the things that people are asking about settings and maneuvering and aiming and that sort of stuff. I want to throw out some basics so we have a better clip, and for the YouTube perhaps. But this is a very common question of like, what are your settings? What settings do I use? How do you move fast? Helicopter feels like a big bathtub. Drives like the Titanic. What do? Indeed. What do indeed, I agree. I've got some advice for settings and movement, which should help a bit with all that. So we can run through that really quickly. So, let's see. First off, I think one of the most important things is to have your sensitivity set all the way max for helicopter. Let's take a look at this. Helicopter control sensitivity 200 is probably thing number one. This makes you move faster. You can pull out of dives and do barrel rolls and just physically move faster. It also makes you very twitchy. Vehicle third-person FOV, max that. That'll allow you to see as much as possible from the third-person perspective. It's more information. It's weird at first. Get used to it. It's better. You can see infinitely more stuff. So that's going to keep you alive. Let's see. I think I kept default for these more or less. And for graphic settings, I just set everything to low. It works fine. It's pretty at higher FPS. So that I can leave it at that. Now, importantly with movement is the aim curve. This is affecting your input on the controller and putting it on a curve, which will tweak what's happening. So since you have 200% sensitivity and you move really fast at 100%, you also move really fast at like teeny bits of input when you're trying to aim at infantry or whatever, like uncontrollably fast. So if you use this curve, what it's going to do is it's going to pull your aim down. For the vehicle aim input curve, the BF1, BF4 one, that goes from 0 to 100, and it goes with just like a normal, or like an exponential curve. So when you're doing the range of like 0 to 50, it'll push it down, and you might do more like 0 to 10% input, and have that dampened. But then you can still go all the way up to 100% when you want to start doing barrel rolls and big movement. So that's what I use for this curve for general movement. You'll do this when you're in like third person, or even first person. The zoom one is for when you're zooming. And for this one, I use the BFB-CB2 Zoom, BFB Zoom. That is a curve that, again, will push it down, but it also maxes out at 50%. So if you have the thumbstick at 100% input all the way at the edge, it's only going to be moving at 50%. And that, combined with the high sensitivity, gives you a little more control. So it's not amazing. Aiming is still difficult, but you have maximum movement speed. And when you're zooming in particular, you're going to have a lot finer control for like the 0 to 10% input range. Along with that, I use no, dead zone on the joystick. So I think that's pretty much it for settings. Those are the important things. It's really just how do I aim. And then I've also got this at BF4, BF3, BFBC. So definitely I would suggest playing with these and changing them, and I might change them more in the future. I've only been playing with them for a couple months. They've made an immediate difference. But that's my biggest advice. Have more sensitivity and use the curves to bring things down. What else we got? Movement. Why am I so heavy? How do I move? In Battlefield 2042, the fastest way to move was to use the nose up or down. To do something like this would make you go fastest. And in fact, this was a way to like gain momentum. In this game, it still works a little bit, but this is actually your slowest angle of movement. The roll and the yaw and these other things are better. So with that in mind, you don't want to dive nose first and just pull up nose first. You're only going to have one out of your 3 inputs active, and it's the slowest one. So you're going to pull out of it real slow. You want to dive sideways and pull out of it with roll, pitch, and yaw all at once. Big dives, something like this, is going to go a lot faster. So get used to going sideways. Get big sideways falls and then roll out of them in particular. It's going to help you quite a bit. What else? I think that's the biggest things for movement. Just having a higher sensitivity and knowing to use something other than nose up is going to help quite a bit. Aiming. Let's see. For tow missile, I shoot above the target and then I pull the tow missile down into the target. You pretty much want to follow the missile itself and see what do you do in missile and kind of use the visual guidance to align it. You can use free look, and that'll aim the tow missile as well. I'm sure that's an important mechanic that I don't use at all yet, but that's the thing to do. I would recommend using tow missiles over heat seekers. Heat seekers feel a lot worse. That being said, I've had some decent pilots give me a hard time with heat seekers, where they just kind of bully you. So whatever you'd like, but I will only ever run tow missiles, I think. I don't like the guided sight missiles. I'll either do the light missiles or the heavy missiles. Running light right now, and the heavy warheads. Let's see. How do you aim with the crosshair? First off, let's just take a second. I need a breather. I'm gonna just chill for a moment. Maybe get a quick repair in. Maybe take a nice sip of water. Let's see, aiming, shooting, moving, let me move. As far as shooting the main rockets for either the light or heavy rockets, the key there is to use the I-beam mostly. If you zoom in and use that I-beam, put it right on your target, right in the center. That's about where your bullets are going to go when you're hanging out in neutral. So if we just go neutral, line that up, take some shots, a few of those are going to hit. But in general, center of the I-beam is more or less what you're going for. That changes if you're either accelerating up or decelerating down towards the ground. That's going to affect where it's going to land on the I-beam. So keep that in mind. Accelerating up might be more like here. Decelerating is going to be more towards the top. But if you just kind of relax and go neutral and aim for dead center I-beam, that's going to pretty much do it. You want to use some, use your eyeballs too. See what, just follow your tracers, are a really good indicator of what's actually happening. So kind of focus on that. But the I-beam is going to be a good tool for getting your aim going. What else? We got the settings. We got general aiming, general movement. Eat RPGs with the helicopter. What else was I going to talk about? Binds for the controller. So I think I'll post my binds below if this is a video on YouTube. You can click on it there. I think the most important bit with the controller is to use the triggers for doing drive up and drive down, accelerate, decelerate. If you can get the movement off of the thumbstick, and the thumbstick is purely for aiming, then it's much easier to be like cruising and going full speed while you're just barely changing your thumb's input and aiming. So that was the biggest change for me that made the controller much more comfortable than the default controls. Other than that, I used the Elite Series 2 controller. I'm not super excited about it, but it's okay. It's got 4 comfortable back paddles, is my entire reasoning. And those are the AXBY, so that I never have to take my right thumb off the stick. I do also use the D-pad for a couple things, but mostly I use the back paddles with like my pinky and ring finger to do free look, countermeasures, third person, other things, all muscle memory, but those are some buttons I use. And then the D-pad does like repair, big map, and reload as well. So I might change those a bit, and I don't think they're super duper important. I do like the back paddles, and I definitely would recommend the big thing for controller. Use the triggers. Triggers for drive, bumpers for zoom shoot is much more intuitive and comfortable. So do these things, zoom when you want to kill people. It's going to be good, and if you're on keyboard and mouse, I think keyboard and mouse has just a little bit of an advantage overall. I think rifle binds in particular can just aim a little better. So if you want to be the best helicopter you can be, it's probably best to be keyboard and mouse with rifle binds. You just kind of look up other folks' video on that. But it's pretty much put the binds on your mouse entirely for shooting and aiming. And that works really nicely. So yeah, hope that helps. Hope that answers all the most common questions. Let me know if I missed something or if that brought up more things you want to think about. Fucking rip, dude.